Just because my dreams are different than yours, it doesn't mean they're unimportant. I like movies about women behaving badly because women behave badly just like men, and we're not always adorable and cute about it. I like people who love books and movies and art and want to talk about it all the time because that's basically what I want to talk about. Intellectuals that are funny. I live in New York, and I love New York as well, but I think Los Angeles is a place where if you have the right person with you, there are all these little worlds that you would never guess by just looking at the exterior of what the city is. I love shooting in New York because I love the city. Ultimately, I like doing it there, and the city is important to the story, but it can be hard to shoot where you live too because it is so all-absorbing. Let your characters talk to each other and do things. Spend time with them. They'll tell you who they are and what they're up to. There are a million little things, but one of the best ways to get to know characters is to just put them in situations and see what they say. I had dreams, but I didn't have the sense that they would necessarily work out. They seemed very far-fetched. I didn't know the city at all, but I was so happy to be in New York. I cried. I was so excited. Using the energy in a scene can really cut the fat off of something and streamline it. It can make it work for you and activate it for you in a way. I think in theater the playwright is king. Those words are unchangeable. They are the reason that everything else flows from. I think it's really hard to work in a city where you live too, because I get so absorbed with the movie that I become a bad friend and a bad participant in my own life. Women, they have minds, and they have souls, as well as just hearts, and they've got ambition, and they've got talent as well as just beauty. And I'm so sick of people saying that love is just all a woman is fit for. I'm so sick of it, but I'm so lonely. I'm not saying that everyone needs to be celibate, but you don't need a romance to complete a story about a woman. I can say I'm a relationship person, and I like relationships. I think I also like relationships, because then you don't have to date because dating is horrible. I'm just a relationship girl. I fall in love and I usually have long relationships. I like getting to know people well and having substantive, long relationships. We would go down to Riverside, California, which is very poor now, but that's where my grandfather grew up. He grew up during the Depression in Riverside. Getting bad reviews or doing something that's not great is also really good for you as an actor. It also makes me feel as an actor that I've earned my stripes a bit. Sometimes female characters, especially in the genre of something that people consider rom-com, make mistakes in a cute way or they're a mess in a way that's palatable. I like that. I'm not really capable of memorizing stuff without moving around. That's how I do it. Movies are now more often watched on the small screen anyway, but at least for me, what got lost in that is the difference in the medium. If you're with one person, then you don't have to meet other people. It's like when you're acting in a movie, you don't have to audition for other movies. I prefer that. I like acting and things when I like the writing. If I don't like the writing, I don't like acting. I think in some ways everything starts for me from the place of writing. I think as an actress, I prefer having a character on the page. It allows you to be more invested in actually creating a whole person. It's easier when you're not trying to come up with your next line on the spot. The economy is rough. I think that affects everyone, from big filmmakers to tiny filmmakers. In relationships, you learn a million things. I'm sure a therapist can tell you about it. We mothers stand still so that our daughters can look back and see how far they've come. I like making films. That anger that creates a kind of certainty which is very dangerous, that gives way to a little bit of doubt, which then uncovers, of course, there's pain. And then once the pain takes over, then this hope of maybe I'll get back in time, and then realizing it's too late. You keep learning how to let go and to live the life that you actually have, as opposed to the life you thought you were going to have. Greta Celeste GERWIG, born August 4, 1983 in Sacramento, California. and grew up in the River Park neighborhood. She is the daughter of Christine, an OB-GYN nurse, and Gordon GERWIG, who worked for a credit union on small business loans. She is close to her parents and they make an appearance in Frances Ha as her character's parents. She has an older brother, a landscape architect, and a sister, a manager at the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. GERWIG has German ancestry. GERWIG was raised a Unitarian Universalist. She attended St. Francis High School, an all-girls Catholic school in Sacramento, and graduated in 2002. GRETA is an American actress, writer, and director. Initially known for working on mumblecore films, she has since expanded from acting in and co-writing independent films to directing major studio films. GERWIG was included in the annual Time 100 list of the most influential people in the world in 2018. She has described herself as having been an intense child. GRETA showed an early interest in dance and later took up competitive fencing, but had to quit, in part due to the high costs. She had intended to complete a degree in musical theater in New York. However, she ended up graduating from Barnard College with a degree in English and philosophy. Outside of class, she performed in the Columbia University Varsity Show with her dorm mate Kate McKinnon. GERWIG began her career working with Joe Swanberg on films such as Hannah Takes the Stairs 2007 and Nights and Weekends 2008. She has collaborated with her husband Noah Baumbach on several films, including Greenberg 2010 and Frances Ha 2012, for which she received a Golden Globe Award nomination, Mistress America 2015, and White Noise 2002. She also acted in such films as Whit Stillman's Damsels in Distress 2011, Woody Allen's 2, Rome with Love 2012, Rebecca Miller's Maggie's Plan 2015, Pablo Lara N's Jackie 2016, Mike Mills' 20th Century Women 2016, and Wes Anderson's Isle of Dogs 2018. As a solo filmmaker, GRETA has written and directed the coming-of-age films Lady Bird 2017 and Little Women 2019, and the fantasy comedy Barbie 2003, all of which earned nominations for the Academy Award for Best Picture. For Lady Bird, she received Academy Award nominations for Best Director and Best Original Screenplay. And for Little Women, she was nominated for Best Adapted Screenplay. Barbie, which she co-wrote with Baumbach, became the first film from a solo female director to gross over $1 billion worldwide and earned her a second Academy Award nomination for Best Adapted Screenplay.